Hey everybody, AnGrY Canadian here. Yeah, so I'm trying to do a little bit of an expose on the people running to be Liberal Party leader. I understand this morning we've had a little bit of a January 27th. We've had notification that one of the fellows, Chowdhury, I think he's Pakistani or whatever, but nonetheless a Canadian. He'd managed to get his $350,000 entry fee to put himself in the race for Liberal Party leader, and he was told he's not allowed to run. So the only people that are allowed to run is Freaky Freeland and Mark Carney and this hag, Karina Gould. Now, she is one of the most poisonous, evil, vindictive, spiteful people I've ever seen in my entire 62 years on the planet. And quite frankly, in this clip, she is trying to berate three Conservative MPs who she claims they had lunch with Christine Anderson. I don't believe that was the case. I believe they were in a room where lunch was being had and they stopped and talked to Christine Anderson. Christine Anderson is a member of parliament in Germany. She represents the AfD. That is the Alternative for Deutschland, or Alternative for Germany. Christine Anderson is not in any way, shape, or form a Nazi. As a direct result of Nazism, she was born into Eastern Germany under Russian communist oppression. And they lived that way until 1992. Not a piece of information a lot of people are aware of. Gorbachev occupied Eastern Germany with 400,000 Russian troops until 1992. Yep, the wall came down in 89, but 1992, before Gorbachev vacated Eastern Germany, she lived under the type of oppression that if you owned a car and you got a flat tire, if you needed a new tire, you had to make application to the government, which was the Russians. You had to make application to the communists for a new tire. And in some cases, it would take usually 6 months to a year for you to get that tire. That's the kind of shit that she lived in. She doesn't want anything like that. She's got nothing to do with Nazis, Nazism, white supremacy, none of that bullshit. What she wants is her country back. I would say she's akin to the PPC party in Canada, the People's Party of Canada. It's something like that. And it's gaining traction and momentum subsequent to her little rant there. This past year, they actually won a couple of seats. And they have won some ridings in recent, provincial elections. So they are gaining traction over there. And, there's nothing wrong with having lunch with an MP from another country. I mean, Germany's parliament basically mirrors Canada's parliament. So what's wrong with people who are members of parliament in Canada exchanging ideas and conversations and just by and large being convivial to a parliamentarian from another country, quite frankly. So Karina Gould's a piece of shit because in the following clips, there she is holding hands, just so sweet with that Hulka guy, or Hunka, whatever the fuck his name is, the Nazi that they brought in, that the Liberals brought into the House of Commons. They brought an actual Nazi in, and there she is, my grandma was a Holocaust survivor. You're a fucking bitch. You disingenuous hag. Anyways, watch the video, guys, and, you see for yourself what a disingenuous piece of shit that she actually is, right? So you can't let this woman anywhere near Canadian politics.
Mr. Speaker, as a descendant of Jewish Holocaust survivors, I am personally very hurt by the fact that this chamber recognized this individual. And I am sure that everyone feels the same way in this chamber. The parliamentary...
What a sack of shit. I'm going to play the clip again. It's only 20 seconds long. But this time, watch Chrystia Freeland. Now remember, Chrystia Freeland's grandfather's a Nazi, right? And Michael Chomiak, he was a Nazi living in Ukraine, where Freeland worked and lived for 20 years, okay? But now pictures have surfaced of Freeland's grandma, who looks just like her, of Freaky Freeland's grandma posing with Hitler, and all funsy schmoozy too. You know what I mean? So this shit runs deep. But watch Freeland's face when Karina Gould's talking about, the Nazi surviving grandparents. I'm a descendant of the Nazi survivors. But watch Freeland's face when she's talking about this shit. It's hilarious because her grandfather's a fucking Nazi. She's literally, the two of them are descendants. One's descendant of a Holocaust survivor, and the other one's descendant of a Nazi. And you know what they say, hey, Christian, once a Nazi, always a Nazi. Anyways, watch this.
Mr. Speaker, as a descendant of Jewish Holocaust survivors, I am personally very hurt by the fact that this chamber recognized this individual. And I am sure that everyone feels the same way in this chamber. The parliamentary...
Anyways, folks, this lady is absolutely poison, right? She's absolutely pure evil. We know she's a World Economic Forum member, so right away, nobody that's involved in the WEF, WHO, UN, anybody that's affiliated with them, such as Mark Criminal Carney and Freaky McTwitchy Freeland, and all of these people, all these MPs, Melanie Jolie and Jennifer O'Connell, like all of these people are World Economic Forum members. They should not even be allowed in Canadian politics. They're members of a globalist elite NGO, non-governmental organization, hell-bent on world domination and just bullshit voodoo crap out of a comic book. It's insane.